Dearest Blueprints, I must acknowledge that your existence has left me in utmost befuddlement. For, you see, I haven't exercised, as many others have, my sanity for the sake of finding masochistic joy in repetition. Life by itself provides such splendor and excess. Although thou hast cloaked thyself in the form of a video game, of the puzzle genre, no less, my eyes are not fooled by such smoke and mirrors, and can see through to thy unsightly roguelike core. As such, I must bid thee and thou most pretentious of uncles, Sinclair, adieu, as thy mysteries are far too obtuse and gameplay much too repetitious and banal for a true gamer such as myself. Be well, and may the devil take you both very soon. So, if you haven't heard, Blueprints is apparently really good. Critics around the world are clamoring about its brilliance. Jason Schreier, a man I have the utmost respect for, even calls it, quote, one of the greatest games ever made. And I, clearly a mere gaming plebeian with spaghetti for brains, don't see it. And believe you me, I tried. As soon as I saw that 92 on OpenCritic, I jumped to my PlayStation 5 and downloaded this game. And yes, from the opening cutscene to the moment you take control of your character, I was hooked. The atmosphere and cinematic sensibilities the developers Dogubomb instilled in their game's opening were brilliant and oozed an artistic flair that demanded my attention. So off I went, slowly but surely taking in this dauntingly massive mansion, being tickled at first by the core mechanic of drafting rooms and the odd paintings and trinkets that fill them. I understood what I believed to be at the time the main puzzle of the game, which was orienting the rooms correctly to make my way to the top of the map and enter the antechamber. Alas, it wouldn't be too long before I understood that this was far from the main puzzle of Blueprints, nor was reaching the antechamber its prime objective. The problem is, the game in no way tells you any of this, and the community surrounding this game is also frustratingly vague, unhelpful, and I hate to say it, but somewhat pretentious. I spent my first 10 in-game days in Blueprints flailing about the mansion, beelining my way to the top of the map because that was the only obvious objective the game shows you, and trying not to lock myself out. I found some interesting notes, a couple of codes for things, and figured out some of the more obvious puzzles like the ones in the parlor and billiards rooms. I'd made it to the top of the map and the antechamber on more than one occasion, only to find the room unenterable, making me realize that this was not the way to get to the elusive room 46. The problem is, the game tells you absolutely nothing about what you're actually supposed to do. Now, okay, listen, that's fine. I don't need a game to hold my hand. I enjoy figuring out mysteries and environmental storytelling. I love narrative-driven walking simulators like What Remains of Edith Finch and Gone Home. I enjoy first-person puzzle games like Portal and Manifold Garden. The problem I have with Blueprints is twofold. Whenever I drafted a new room in Blueprints, my goal was always to either have the room connect to another while moving upwards on the map, or to find an item like a key or a gem. That's because most of these rooms don't have anything for you to actually do in them. Aside from the aforementioned few, and I'm sure a few more that I have yet to find, that have more obvious puzzles, most rooms seem like just pretty set dressing. There may be a note here and there for you to read or a picture frame for you to take a closer look at, but nothing more. As mentioned, I did find a couple of notes that were noteworthy, but they never amounted to anything, or at least in ways that made sense to me. But okay, speaking of noteworthiness, that apparently is the biggest mechanic of Blueprints: taking notes. After 5 hours of banging my head against the wall, not knowing what to do, I acquiesced and went over to Reddit for some help. And help I did not find. Every person I came across that had spent every waking hour of their past lives these past few weeks in this game all said the same damn things. Take notes. Pay attention to everything in each room. Every room has like a million hints to a billion puzzles. What? What game are y'all playing? What puzzles? What hints? Eventually I realized that there's this whole other meta game that's far from obvious from the moment-to-moment gameplay. Apparently every painting in each room is significant because it gives hints about some other puzzle, and that puzzle gives hints on some other puzzle. The way you draft and arrange room has meaning. The statues have meaning. The way the forks are arranged in the dining room has meaning. This bird probably has meaning. But how do you know if something in a room actually has meaning? Well, you take notes. A lot of freaking notes. Then you have to cross-reference those notes with more notes, to the point where you look like that meme of Charlie Day from Pacific Rim. The frustrating part is that you don't know what has meaning and what doesn't, because everything in every room looks inconsequential. Now, I don't need a game to make things abundantly obvious, but at the very least, let me pick items up, analyze them, maybe have an in-game journal to jot things down or highlight certain aspects of the mansion, if indeed note-taking is the true game mechanic. Otherwise, all I'm doing is entering a room and furiously wasting pages of paper writing down every single detail I see, praying that something pays off. And that's not fun. That's school, and I hate school. Alright, so I don't like roguelikes. There's nothing less joyous in gaming for me than losing progress, and that's the entire mechanic of roguelikes. Of course, I'm being a little facetious and I know that there's a lot more to it, and God help me, I also really enjoy Souls-like, which have an element of repetition and losing progress, but games like Hades and Dead Cells never really gelled with me, even though I understand why people click with them and can respect their game design, especially their combat mechanics. Blueprints, ostensibly, is also a roguelike. Each day serves as a run, with you drafting more and hopefully new rooms and discovering more layers of the many puzzles after reading your encyclopedia of notes. However, where I could bear the repetitive nature of the roguelike genre in a game like Hades or Moonlighter due to their engaging combat mechanics, Blueprints is simply not fun in the moment to moment. There's nothing engaging or captivating about drafting or walking around rooms. It's not like What Remains of Edith Finch, Firewatch, or Gone Home, where you're finding interesting notes, learning more about a character's history through interactive exploration, or actively doing something that leads to further discovery via gameplay. Or maybe there is. Maybe all of what I just said is in Blueprints, in spades, and this is an impeccably woven game with a deep lore, engaging narrative, and mind-blowing puzzles that I'm just too dumb to figure out. I just don't care to figure it out, because the moment-to-moment gameplay offers so little both in terms of interactivity and narrative, and the blind note-taking feels so aimless, especially because the payoff for them may never come due to the RNG of the game's roguelike mechanics. It all just leaves me feeling bereft of joy. Sorry if I'm yucking all y'all's yums, but Blueprint simply isn't for me. I'm going back to playing proper video games like Batman Rise of Sin 2 for the Game Boy Advance.